Back in 2016, I had a close call with death, and it forever changed my perspective on life. Knowing that time is the most valuable asset we have, and none of us really know exactly how much time we have left on this earth. I set out to create more happiness in my life. I came up with my own definition of happiness and create a formula with variables that enable me to experience happiness. Then I apply the formula with intentionality and purpose for me to experience happiness as often as possible. In 2017, I began tracking and measuring how much time I intentionally invest in creating happiness for myself. This mindful practice was the catalyst for my Life ROI concept, which inspired me to write a book on the subject back in 2020. For the past 7 years, I have been diligently investing and measuring my happiness. The fluctuation of the happiness metric was impacted by what was going on in my mental and physical health, family, work, other people in my life, the community I lived in, and what was going on in the world, like a global pandemic. Sometimes, everyday distraction and stress got in the way, making it difficult to genuinely invest in my happiness. I did not want to simply go through the motions and performatively track happiness for the sake of measuring happiness. I had to make sure the integrity of my happiness was protected. Otherwise, I would be cheating myself out of authentic happiness. In 2024, the total number of hours I intentionally invested in my happiness was 416.42 hours, which represents 4.75% of total number of hours I had access to in 2024. This doesn't mean I was miserable the other 95.25% of the time. 4.75% represents the percentage of time I intentionally invested in my happiness. Now, what's interesting is that the second half of the year, I invested 5.76% of my time in happiness, but only 3.73% in the first half of 2024. There are multiple contributing factors to this. We were preparing to move our family to the other side of the world, and all the logistical nightmares that come with such a big move. I was also working in an unhealthy culture where the toxic behaviors of some people were harming those with good intentions, focused on creating meaningful impact that would benefit the entire ecosystem. The 54% growth in happiness from the first half to the second half of the year did not happen because I was hoping for different results while doing the same thing stuck in the same environment. I was able to double my happiness because the investment of time in my decisions, actions, people, and environment was intentional and purposeful towards happiness. Here are the top 3 activities I invested towards happiness in the second half of 2024. At the top of the list was family outings. We took trips as a family, both day trips to nearby places and longer periods of time to faraway destinations. Coming in second, family dinners. We as a family took turns cooking dinner and sat down to enjoy the delicious meals together. In the beginning, we cooked dishes we had made before and were easier. But we began exploring new recipes and learned how to make dishes we've never made before. The third activity was fishing. For this old city slicker, this is a brand new experience for me. I'm enjoying both the emotional and functional benefit of this new activity. The tranquility I experienced while fishing by the beautiful ocean was expected. But bringing home and feeding my family the fresh catch of the day from an activity that brings me happiness is not something I've experienced in my 53 years on this earth. Since starting my Life ROI work, I stopped doing New Year resolutions. Instead, I create purposeful strategic plans, make informed decisions from my own data, and take intentional actions. Ultimately, as a CEO of my personal brand, who is in charge of the ROI in my life, I focus on investing time in people and activities that are aligned with my values and purpose in life. What are your strategic plans for 2025? How are you planning to increase the ROI in your life?